Alright, so we're going to go ahead and change out these handlebars. These are the new bars that we're putting on. For some reason I thought I got the Adventure high bars, but I believe these are the standard ones. So once we get the thing on it, it might end up being just a little bit shorter than stock, which probably not going to work so good for me, but I think the high ones might be, I don't know if they'll be too high or not. So I'll put them on the way they are now, and then if I have to, I'll get some rocks risers or something like that. Alright, so I'm getting the old hand guards off. Just gonna loosen those up a little bit. We got two 10mm. Actually, got one 10mm and the other one's a 4mm Allen. We got the 10mm nut down here. And a washer. Then we got the 4mm Allen on the top. This thing, once you loosen this up, you can just pop it out. Now you take the little Allen out. There's a little bushing in there, so don't lose that. So I'm just gonna put the Allen back, screw it back in here on the top. It'll just stay there even with the new hand guards. And same with the nut and washer. I'll go ahead and put that back on there too. Alright, so next thing I'll do is I'll go ahead and take the brake and the clutch reservoir, loosen that up, we'll get that out of the way. These are 8mm. Don't drop your mirror when you take the second one off. Alright. Now there's a couple zip ties here, we'll cut those off. Alright, now we can loosen up there's two Phillips screws on the bottom of this. And we should have, let's see, those Allens. So we got 2 Allens on the throttle tube. And those are 4mm. You don't have to take that whole thing off. Just loosen them up. I believe it should slide off. If it doesn't, we'll take it off. Okay. Now I can take this, we'll loosen that up just a little bit. Don't pull it all the way out, because sometimes the rubber piece in there sticks. Take it out, push it in, and then pull it. And then your whole bar and wheel will come off. Alright, and don't worry, this thing's not going to slide all the way off with a slack, but once we take these bolts off, we'll just slide it over and pop it off. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do the same to the other side on the other controls. Alright, so all the other controls are off, so now we can finish taking this off. And pull that, and then slide these out. That way we don't have to take all the whole cables out. Alright, so we'll have to get this grip off from here. And yeah, we'll get the other bars set on there and see how they are. So I've got the Pro Taper adapters on here to mount the bars, but this is as tight as those bolts go, so the bolts are too long, the ones that come with it. So, but the other thing that I figured out was that the Pro Taper bars, they're actually about, these are not the high bars. These are just the standard adventure bars. And they're basically, it's about a 1/2 inch lower than the stock bar, so that's not going to work for me. So I'll send the adapters back, and I'm going to have to get some like Rock's 2-inch risers or something like that. And we'll try, see what happens with that. Anyways, so if you buy these adapters, more than likely you're going to have to cut these bolts off. So we got the new handlebars on there. We got the 2-inch risers, which actually, it raised the handlebars. These are the standard adventure Evo bars. I believe it raised them up right at about 1 inch over the stock with the 2-inch riser, because they are a little bit shorter than the stock bar. So on these bars with these risers, I had to take the wiring to the switches on the handle and route them the opposite of where they were. I had to run out the back of the triple tree on these because it was getting a little bit tight. So we got the switches mounted, we drilled the holes on the bars, and this is going to be the switch for the LED hand guards. If I can focus this thing, you'll be able to see it. Same thing with the throttle cables. Had to take them out of the little holder down in there. But yeah, they'll be fine. I'll zip tie them up where they need to be, and as long as they're not tight and they're not getting binding on anything or any of that type of stuff will be fine. Alright, so let's recap on the handlebars. So first we took the stock bars off, removed the controls, removed the grips, and then we installed the standard Pro Taper Evo Adventure bars. And we used the Pro Taper adapters, which didn't work because the bolts weren't long enough. I checked the website and it's not showing that it makes the kit for the 15. So I'm sure they'll work. You probably just have to cut the bolts and it'll be fine. But regardless, that made the bars about an inch shorter than stock that way. So I've got the 2-inch risers. Installed those. Those made it about 1.5 inches taller than stock. So therefore we had to reroute the switch wires to behind the triple tree. So after that, sat on the bike, positioned the bars so they're comfortable. And after that we installed the grips. Installed the switches. We drilled the holes in the new bars for the pins in the switches so they don't rotate. And I believe that was a number 8 drill bit. So we got that done. And then we installed the LED hand guards, made sure that there was no binding on the throttle tube when we installed those. And yeah, we had to rotate the throttle cables just a little bit forward. Make sure that no binding on those also. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the handlebars.